So what is up, guys? Suda the Savage back, and you already know it's a Saints loss. I absolutely hate filming these, but you guys seem to love watching me rant about the Saints. So whoever loves to watch it, here you go. Saints lose the Carolina Panthers 26-7, and this game was just outright terrible for us. You know, nothing went right. It was just a poor showing by the Saints, kind of just like a humbling game. You know, after we crushed the Packers, we show up with that. Anyways, going to get to a general recap of the game, individual player stats, then a final grade for both teams. So without further ado, let's get this video started. All right, starting off with a general recap of the game. So the Carolina Panthers, they got the ball to start the game, and it only took them 5 plays just to get into that end zone for the touchdown. Christian McCaffrey did a whole lot of damage, but Sam Darnold hooked up with Brandon Zylstra for a 20-yard touchdown. Then the Saints, on their very first drive, we went 3 and out. We had 2 false starts, and we just ended up punting after that. So off to a bit of a sloppy start, but immediately after that, Carolina, we do force them to punt, so I'm pretty happy with that. I'm like, okay, good. Let's see if we can get some points on the board. Oh no, we go 3 and out again. And this is going to be a common trend. Anyways, the Carolina Panthers, they go on a very, very long drive, but they end up kicking a field goal, making it a 10-0 game. So I'm just thinking, come on, let's just get that spark, get back in the game. No, we got to punt again. Not quite a 3 and out, but a very short drive. Carolina, on their very next drive, they drove down the field, and then they got a 2-yard passing touchdown to DJ Moore. He was cooking this Saints defense. He had an excellent game against us, and it was pretty frustrating. So Saints were going into the 2-minute drill, and Jameis Winston, he drives us down the field, gets to a 3rd and 10 on the Carolina 37, and he gives us one of those famous classic Jameis Winston moments where he just thinks he's invincible, unstoppable, and throws an interception. And it was sloppy. Like, it was a pass he should not have made. If he had just thrown it out of bounds, could have kicked a field goal, made it 17-3. The Panthers, they tried to get into field goal range of their next drive, but they ended up failing. And we're going into the second half down 17-0. All right, so going into the second half, we're down 17-0. I was getting flashbacks to the Minneapolis Miracle, because if you remember, we went down 17-0 at halftime, made a major comeback, and then blew it at the end. I also thought about Week 14 last year against the Philadelphia Eagles, where we went down 17-0, almost made a comeback, but ultimately fell short. So this is the vibes that I was getting. Like, are we going to have like another Minneapolis Miracle or a near comeback against Philly? Well, to start it off, no, we didn't. Started out with a 3 and out. We punted. Carolina, on their very next drive, they drive down the field. Now, something that was going on in this game, the Saints were taking so many penalties that led to automatic first downs. It wasn't just like multiple like neutral zone infractions. I'm talking roughing the passer, unnecessary roughness, illegal use of hands. This game was just so sloppy by this team. But anyways, Zane Gonzalez, he lines up to kick a 55-yard field goal, but the Saints block it. And I'm just thinking, oh my God. I was sitting right over there, watching it on my laptop. I got so hyped up. I'm thinking, okay, this is it. This is the spark that's going to bring the Saints back into this game. Well, no, it didn't. As we get to a 4th and 5 on the Carolina 33, and I'm saying, okay, we got to go for this. You know, I think we need to go for it. Yeah, sure, a field goal would be nice, but I think we need to go for this. Just gets more points on the board. We had to call a timeout because we had Taysom Hill in at QB, and I feel like everyone knew what was going to come. He was going to take it, tuck, and run. But on this one, on the 4th and 5, after the timeout, Jameis Winston gets sacked. Then on the very next drive, the Panthers go 3 and out, and they end up punting. And the Saints follow that up with a 3 and out, and they punt. Then, of course, Sam Darnold is in the pocket, and he made a pretty poor decision. He was about to get sacked, and he just kind of blindly threw the ball, which immediately got intercepted by Malcolm Roach, one of our defensive linemen. So it's just like, what the fuck are you thinking? It was like he was seeing ghosts all over again. So the Saints were within 18 yards of the end zone. Just score! And we did. 3rd and goal, Jameis Winston runs it in for the touchdown. I was kind of hoping he would pass it off to Tony Jones Jr. since I did put $5 on him to score a touchdown, which could have netted me, I think, like $22, but didn't end up happening in the end. So the Saints were down 17-7 going into the 4th quarter, so I'm thinking, okay, maybe we can make a comeback. The Panthers, they go on a bit of a drive, but we force them to punt, and I'm thinking, this is it. Oh no, we go 3 and out. Then Carolina immediately tore down the field and ended up with an 11-yard touchdown to Christian McCaffrey. Zane Gonzalez ended up missing the field goal. Now we're down 23-7. Then we end up with a turnover on downs on our own 32. And Panthers end up kicking the field goal. There's another chance for Jameis Winston, maybe put some points on the board in garbage time. Well, he threw another idiotic interception. So we had two classic Jameis Winston picks where all logic in his head goes out the window. We would see this all the time on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it was on full display against the Carolina Panthers today. Panthers would end up punting, and then Jameis Winston just decided to knee the ball one play just to end the game, because honestly, I was done with this game. So were the Saints, and yeah, pretty tough loss, 26-7 on individual player stats. All right, so on to individual player stats, starting off with Jameis Winston. Dude was playing like he was a Tampa Bay Buccaneer again. Absolutely terrible, except he had no efficiency this time, no receivers to throw to, as he had about a 50% completion percentage, 111 yards, no touchdowns, and 2 picks. The first pick, he thought he was Patrick Mahomes. He's like, well, I'll chuck it out deep. Maybe my receiver will catch it. No, threw that right towards the defense. And the second pick was kind of the same thing, just a completely boneheaded decision that completely cost us. And to be honest, Jameis Winston wasn't the only lowlight on offense. That rush game, absolutely terrible. When Jameis Winston is your lead rushers, alarm bells should be ringing, as he led with 19 rushing yards and a touchdown. Taysom Hill, he had 16 yards. Tony Jones Jr. only had 3 carries for 7 yards, and Alvin Kamara 8 carries for 5 yards. Dude's considered a top 5 running back. Yikes, that's definitely gonna hurt his case as a top 5 running back. And it's also going to maybe hurt his case for breaking the trend of never having a 1,000-yard rushing season. I want him to get that 1,000-yard season. He's got an extra game this year to prove it, so just do it. Just do it. But the receiving game was also completely inexistent. Little Jordan Humphrey was our lead receiver, 1 reception for 27 yards. Now, in preseason, I absolutely hated Little Jordan Humphrey, and from what I saw from him last year, because dude has Aguilar or Evan Ingram hands, if you would describe it. He's either going to make a great catch or he's going to drop it. And he drops it more than he catches it. But he only had 2 targets this game. Anyways, then follow that up with Alvin Kamara, 4 receptions for 25 yards. Juwan Johnson, 1 reception for 23 yards. Chris Hogan, 1 reception for 16 yards. Deontay Harris, 1 reception for 9 yards. Marquez Callaway, I know I said last week and in my Week 2 predictions video, he's going to break out, going to have a breakout week. Yeah, now I'm starting to question, is he really going to be a number 1 wide receiver for the Saints, or was he just overhyped in preseason, even though he did have a pretty damn good preseason? Anyways, then Ty Montgomery, 1 reception for 3 yards, and that was it. The offensive line, missing Eric McCoy, the Panthers took advantage of that as we allowed 4 sacks. That was not good. And the defense was, to be honest, we were missing a ton of guys on defense. Let me give you the injury report for yesterday's game. So here's some of the key inactives on offense and on defense. So we had no Michael Thomas, no Traquan Smith, or Eric McCoy. So those are 3 big heads for the offense that were just missing due to injury. Then we were missing Marcus Davenport, Peyton Turner, Quan Alexander, Chauncey Gardner-Johnson, and Marshawn Lattimore. Now, missing Marshawn Lattimore and Chauncey Gardner-Johnson definitely explains why the Panthers were so good at attacking that pass game. Now, yes, we do have Desmond Trufant, Bradley Roby, Paulson Adebo. Now, that's a good depth for cornerbacks, but to be honest, Paulson Adebo got his welcome to the NFL game as he was just completely scorched the whole game. Not a good showing for him. And then, of course, no real kind of like pass rush. We were missing a couple of guys in that. So definitely a big factor on why the defense wasn't effective. And we were also missing 10 coaches due to COVID tracing. So Sean Payton literally had to do it all, and sadly he just couldn't do it. So I'll be honest, yes, there were definitely factors that led towards the Saints loss, but it should not have been as bad as it was. Anyways, moving on to the Carolina Panthers, Sam Darnold had an excellent game outside of that 1 pick that he threw where he just made an absolute boneheaded decision. He was seeing ghosts. But he had 305 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 1 pick. So overall, a good showing by Sam Darnold. Christian McCaffrey, he had 72 yards and a touchdown, so he was clearly attacking us. Then lead receiver was actually DJ Moore this game. He had 8 receptions for 79 yards and a touchdown, followed by Christian McCaffrey with 65 yards. Then Dan Arnold, 3 receptions for 55 yards. Robbie Anderson, 3 receptions for 38 yards. Also, I forgot about Brandon Zalestra, 3 receptions, 44 yards and a touchdown. And that's all I'm going to talk about. So the offense for the Panthers, they did well. They knew that the Saints were missing depth at corner, and they attacked that, and that's what I liked. A good game plan by Matt Rule. Christian McCaffrey, scrapped up what he could and did an excellent job doing what he does best, two-way football. Anyways, and then that defense, that was an excellent showing by your defense. You knew Eric McCoy was out, so you completely stuffed that rushing game from the Saints. And then the passing game, of course, you knew that was weakened, and you just completely attacked that pass game. And ultimately, our defense our offense just couldn't do anything with how well your defense played. I said this, I think I might have said this last year, but you guys have a defense that's on the rise, and you guys are a bit of a sneaky pick. You're a bit of a sleeper. As much as I hate the Carolina Panthers, I got to give you credit. You played an excellent game against the New Orleans Saints. Made us eat some of our humble pie. This game is one of those games where you just got to learn from your mistakes and just move on from it immediately. I don't want to see this going against New England next week because I got one of my closest friends who's a Patriots fan, and if they win, he won't let me hear the end of it. Anyways, to give a final grade for the teams, New Orleans Saints, offense, I'm going to give them a 1 out of 10, with it being absolutely ineffective on both the pass and the rush game. It was basically how Green Bay played against us last week, so I'm going to give that a 1 out of 10. The defense, despite all the penalties we took, we took over 110 yards in penalties, so that's also got to change. The defense, I'm going to give them a 6 out of 10. We're missing, give me a 5 out of 10. I'm giving them a little bit of praise because, we were missing a couple of guys, and yeah, we tried to stop the Carolina Panthers as much as possible, but in the end, they were just a superior team. Anyways, then the Carolina Panthers, I'm going to give their offense a 7.5 out of 10. A bunch of 3-and-outs and the Sam Darnold decision and also the blocked field goal definitely is going to hold me back of giving your team a higher grade, but I'm going to give that defense a 10 out of 10. Completely silenced the New Orleans Saints. Just nothing came out of us. So I got to give you a lot of props for that. Anyways, final grade for the Saints, I'm going to give them a 3 out of 10 for today. And for the Carolina Panthers, I'm going to give them an 8.5 out of 10. On to the outro. And that is going to wrap up my video for today. Thank you guys all so much for watching. If you want to see my week 1 and 2 predictions and my Packers and Saints recaps, links to all that will be in the description below. If you like this video, drop a like, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, comment down below what your thoughts were on the Saints game. Are you going to be a Panthers troller and just make fun of me, or are you going to be a Saints fan and show me some sympathy? Either or, I don't care, because if you're going to show me backlash, it's okay. We deserve it. Make sure to follow me on Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok at Brendan Suter. Thank you all for watching. Have a great day. Who Dat Nation is out.